All happy. To Sean, back here with Jesse. Must be great to see him racing with the Wiggins colours on.
Yeah, I mean it's a great opportunity for Jesse. This year I think it's not shit or bust, but he's getting there. He started pretty late, which was a handicap, obviously. So, so he's been playing catch up. But today, this year is a great opportunity, as you say, with a properly structured team.
Do you miss being out on the bike now? Because you're still recovering.
Yeah, I'm still recovering, but I'm getting back on my bike slowly, and hopefully by the summertime I'll be, raring to go. But yeah, obviously, you've got to slow down at some point, and it seems that it's my time to slow down. But so taking it easy, really.
The Perfs. What memories have you got of this? Because I guess it's always been a short race, hasn't it? Even when you won it.
Yes, I mean very short but sweet. I think. Obviously, at this time of year, you don't really slog it around. When luckily today the weather's great, but it could be bad for 60 or 70 miles. That'd be pretty harsh. But memories, obviously, first race of the season. I did win this race back in '79. I mean it's good. It's a good head out for the Southerners. It's not often that people down south get to do the main race of the weekend, really.
Well, with your coaching hat on, is there any harm in doing a race like this early?
No, I don't. No, for sure not. For sure not. Obviously, it's not going to knock you for six.
Yeah.
It's not going to make a major dent in your preparation. So, as I say, it's more of a question of a hit out for the guys who live down here. And have a fun day out. Obviously, if the weather's stinking, it's a different kettle of fish. Possibly getting a cold, but I mean, with the kit they've got these days, they all go out on the weekend and do it anyway. So I think, it's a good hit out.
Whether you're training or whatever you're doing on the bike, you've got a chance. Even kids these days can bring things.
Yeah, of course.
A cold
yes,
so easy
yes. I mean, so that's basically not really in the equation in reality. But there's definitely no harm in having a hit out. Obviously, a lot of guys hold fire for a while, but in this day and age, people are racing all over the place, aren't they? Have been since the start of January. So I think it's good. It's all good fun.
So whereabouts are you with the pro peloton these days in Europe? I mean, obviously you're working at Train Sharp and you're keeping your hand in there, but you've got a keen eye on it, or?
Yeah, I mean, I watch it avidly, really, and I'm in contact with several of the guys in the World Tour teams. Keep touch base. Obviously, I've worked with them for a long time, so it's normal that you keep in touch and say hi now and then. And I do like bike riding, riding by bike racing, World Tour racing. So, I have the opportunity to be able to watch it, so I make the most of it.
Well, I've watched a few races already. Tour Down Under, Dubai's just on now, and all that. In your day, when did the season begin for you guys?
I guess it would have been about mid-February, when I first started, with the 12 stage and then Tour of the Mediterranean. You start beginning of February with the camp, and we held all those one-day races down in the south of France, which no longer exists, like Grand Prix of Monaco, then the Tour of Corsica. But obviously, starting pretty much 2 months earlier, I would say nowadays, certainly in the level of fitness is probably about 5 months. They're 5 months ahead of the game, really. I think no one losing much form now at all, with the racing going on so late in the year as well.
Yeah. And do the riders have to be careful with? Because how many race days did you average per year?
Yeah, I mean average. I don't know average, but for sure I had a lot of races, maybe 120 up to 130. Nowadays, not many guys who do over 80, and it's more often than not 50, 60, maybe 70.
So I guess even though the season starts earlier, it's all about how they structure.
Yes, of course. I mean, it's much more. Although there's pressure to perform in every race, the main contenders, they pinpoint certain points of the season, because even when they're not in top nick, they can still perform. So I think, to summarise, everyone's in much better condition these days, year round. The teams are better structured. They know how to work towards certain goals, but at the same time tick the boxes the rest of the year.
Favourite races that you have to watch?
I guess
Flanders
and Roubaix, and obviously the Tour.
Yeah.
The Tour is always the big one. So it's great. It's great to follow that.
The tour, what is it absolutely another level up? Because you get a nervous peloton and all this sort of stuff, but to the other Grand Tours and also to the other races.
Yeah, I think obviously the Tour is the biggest race, and everyone's pumped to the max. It's more about the fact that everyone knows the world media is looking at you, and that means that 9 times out of 10 the guys going to be at their best physically as well as mentally. Although obviously year round they're pretty good anyway. So I think just the sheer competitiveness of the whole thing, the fact that so much counts on the Tour media-wise, just lifts the game a little bit more, makes it a little more nervous, more pressure. Obviously, sponsors a lot of teams that still possibly not got a sponsor for the following year. Certainly a lot of riders, so it's pretty cutthroat.
Now, you've been in a lot of races. If you're doing over 100 races a year, there's a lot of races in your career. But the yellow jersey, and actually I think at the time you actually held the time trial record for an average speed. Is that a strong memory in your?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously everyone wants to succeed in doing what they're doing, and you get the yellow jersey was a highlight. Especially after what seemed to be you've been running for 12 years or so. It just shows you that if you keep trying, then one day things fall in your lap.
Yeah, and the British riders making their mark. How different was it back in your career to now, where you've got Sky taking British riders, but other teams are also.
Yes, of course. I mean, cycling in general is much more global. Obviously, cycling's been around the UK for donkey's years, but everything's much more accessible this day and age. Not only on a physical side of things, but media-wise, it's a big sport across the globe, and there's so much more opportunities for British riders to make it. To the top level, but I must say, obviously, the Brits are flying the flag, well.
And you guys at Train Sharp are helping that with your academy and all that. What sort of things do you do personally at Train Sharp? Are you a numbers man?
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I just assist John mentally. I think more than anything. I'm coaching some guys, but it's pretty much more low key, and I'm just in the background really as a point of referral. Obviously they're doing great things, like you say, with the youngsters, pushing them on, a few guys going through, so it's great.
And looking at what you do at Train Sharp with the guys like Chris Mack and Elliot, who's just left to go to Dimension Data and all that, it's so different to your day, or is it just different in a different way? Yes,
I mean, often back in the day, just going ride our bikes, if you had the metal, you shine, type of thing, so it's a whole different ball game, but
you find
I think obviously the fact that the riders don't race so frequently back in the UK means that you have to be more specific in the training. If you're racing 130 days a year, you need to pace yourself, and obviously you don't have to train that much because the racing brings you on. Obviously you have to be in decent condition as you hit the season, which the majority of the peloton weren't really back in the day. So in hindsight, obviously if you did hit the season in really good condition, you would get a lot more results and give yourself a lot less of a hard time, and stop chasing the tail for like the first 5 months.
And are you training Jesse? You his coach?
Yeah, I'm his coach, so yeah.
And I guess that must be a bit interesting.
Yes. No, he's going all right. Obviously, at the end of the day, it's what you got in the tank physically, constitution-wise, that'll show whether you shine in the end. He's progressing, as I said earlier. He started late, so he's playing catch-up, but he seems to come on a bit. Hopefully this year he'll get some results.
So you'll be watching avidly today?
Yes, for sure, for sure. I mean, obviously this is, we know what's happened the last few years, so we'll see what happens today. But the fittest, the strongest at the front today, if it's racing, is like it was, as I said, last few years, so it should be interesting.